Welcome to this session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. And what we'll do, as we do in all these sessions, is go through a series of short meditations. We're going to set up and do work with our posture and get settled and centered, and then work with our breathing and connection with the space that we're sitting in, which we think of as mindfulness. And mindfulness, the traditional language, actually going back to Sanskrit language, there's a word called sati, and it means recollection. And essentially it means remembering what we're doing or paying attention to what we're doing. So the space we're sitting in, our gaze is low, and we're aware of our breathing. Sometimes you can use, if you have issues with breathing, you can use an object that you put just in front of you and just rest your mind on perceiving that object. But basically you're also aware of thoughts appearing in your mind because they keep bubbling up. Now, when a thought bubbles up, the thought bubbles up. Like sunny outside. Okay. Now, if that thought takes you into a stream of thoughts, and in fact, in the language, they call it swept away, wandering off into a daydream. A friend of mine said, there's a difference between watching the parade and then finding yourself in the parade. So we're sitting there, it's sunny outside. Well, if I go out, maybe I better remember to put on sunscreen, and when I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to this, and then I'm going to see that. But if I have time, and suddenly we're already into the future. So if you notice, so many of our thoughts, how many of our thoughts are actually just what's happening now? Very often we're replaying something from the past, or pre-playing that what's going to happen in the future. So it's interesting to observe. And when we realize that we're off in a daydream, actually, you don't realize it while you're dreaming. You realize it when you wake up. So as soon as you realize, oh, I'm not out shopping, I'm here sitting, you're already back. And this is the key. Sometimes people talk about meditation or mindfulness as coming back to the present. Well, the present is always our default state. What happens is we get taken away from it, but we don't really get taken away from it. It just gets covered up with layers and layers and layers and layers of thoughts, feelings, thoughts on top of them, thoughts about the thoughts, thoughts about the feelings, and we keep adding more on. And that's an interesting expression, to add more on. So as soon as we realize that we've been doing that we've been off into a series of thoughts, we're already back. And the instruction is to remember what you were doing. So whatever our meditation was, whatever we were focusing on, whether it's the body or the breath or perceptions or thoughts themselves, whatever our intention was, that's what we go back to paying attention to. That's the whole process of mindfulness. We go off, we realize it, we're back, we return to what we were doing. So if you get better at this, maybe next time you go into the kitchen, you'll remember why you went in there. How often do we intend to go to the kitchen to get something, get distracted, and we walk in and we go, okay, so now why did I come in here again? That's not recollection. So we can have a sense of humor about that and say, oh, okay, let's be more mindful and remember what we were doing. So we're going to start with settling and centering. And by the way, you won't want to, we're going to, excuse me, we're going to start with our eyes closed to get grounded and settled and centered. But then we're going to open our eyes because we're connecting with the space that we're sitting in and then the environment and our perceptions. So you want to set up so that you're not looking directly into the screen of the device that you're working with. And then let's get settled into our posture. So if you're sitting on a cushion on the floor, you'll have your legs crossed in front of you. If you're in a chair, either way, first get settled how you're on your seat and feel your sit bones pressing into whatever you're sitting on, the cushion or the chair, and just even them out so that you're not leaning on one side or the other. As for your legs, have them crossed in front of you. If you're in a chair, you have a couple of options. One is to have your feet flat on the floor so that your shins are vertical, perpendicular to the floor, and your feet are about hip width apart and your knees are about hip width apart. Now, the other option is, especially if your knees are higher than your hips, it can put a strain on your hips and your lower back. So then just slide your feet across from each other, the same distance away from you, and cross at the ankles, and let your knees widen out. And they should be a little bit below your hips. We have our sit bones evened out. And feel like your posture is upright but not rigid. One of my teachers calls it loosely straight. And if you want to check if you're upright and centered, you can just tilt at the hips so that your torso is upright and straight, but you tilt it side to side a little bit. Less and less and less until you find that centered place. You can't describe what centered is. You can just say, well, it's not tilted left or not tilted right. And the same thing, again, at the hips, tilt slightly forward, slightly back. And you feel like, oh, are you pulled back? Oh, you're leaning forward. Less and less and less until not forward or back. And that's how we find center. You want to feel like that loosely straight spine means that the spine feels like it's straight upright, and that straightness continues up the back of your neck and the back of your head so that everything gets aligned. Especially, we spend so much time looking into computers, and as we walk around the world, we're eager to get where we're going, and our chin starts sticking out and our head goes forward and our head's kind of leaning out in front of our body. So here, we're all aligned with our ears over our shoulders, upright. As for your torso, the only thing that I'd suggest, and you can try this, don't force it, just feel like your breastbone raises up and forward the tiniest bit. And when you do that, you'll feel your chest open up, your shoulders go back without you pulling them back. And you find you open to side breathing as well as top to bottom. Your arms, let your upper arms hang straight down from your shoulders. And then you bend your elbows and have your forearms go along your thighs, palm down, hands palm down just behind your knees. So you're not reaching forward or artificially pulling back. Upper arms just hanging straight down, forearms along your thighs, hands palm down on your thighs just behind your knees. Your jaw is relaxed but not hanging open. And your lips are either slightly touching or slightly parted or lightly touching. We're going to breathe in through our nose, unless you have a really bad sinus condition. But breathe in through your nose. And as you breathe out, mostly through your nose, but if some comes out your mouth, it's okay. And there's a traditional yoga suggestion with your tongue, and you can either just let your tongue be natural, or you can let it float up and rest the tip of your tongue just behind your front teeth, on the upper palate, just behind your front teeth. And it said that that reduces the flow of saliva a little bit. Now, it's okay if you have some saliva and you need to swallow, go ahead and swallow. If you have any kind of painful sensation, move immediately and relieve it. If you have any ache or slight ache or itch or something like that, move with some intention. First, acknowledge, mindful. I notice I've got an itch and I'm going to scratch it. So you have a definite intention, and then slowly move and mindfully move, scratch that itch, return to your posture. Tickle in your throat, I'm going to clear. Clear your throat, return to your posture. Next, let's clear any residual unnecessary tension that we're holding and that we may not be aware of it. We might be walking through our lives so tense that our shoulders are up by our ears and we don't know it, or our belly's clenched, ready for whatever's next, and we don't know it. Sometimes we clench our hands and don't even realize it. So start at the top of your head, and we're just going to let our awareness scan through our body. Scalp, face, eyes, cheekbones, jaw. Sometimes our face is more clenched than we realize. Just let it soften. If you find it helpful, you can do that on an out-breath. The in-breath is energizing, the out-breath is letting go, releasing. Ears, the back of your head, your neck, shoulders, again, let them hang. Upper arms, upper back, chest, a little bit of tension holding that breastbone up if you'd like. Everything else relax around it, soften around it. Rib cage all around, lower back, solar plexus, stomach, deep belly. And sometimes again we clench deep belly and pelvic region together. Breathe out, let go. Don't let your posture slump when that happens. Just breathe out and let go of that tension. Whatever little tension you need to hold your upright posture, that's okay. Hips, pelvis, forearms, hands, thighs. Breathe out. Let the tension melt and flow down and out of you. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. And as we do this, we become aware of all the aspects of our body and fully inhabit it. Let your awareness be all through your body. And now let it rest deep in your core. Sometimes we think of our body almost like we see in a mirror, or two-dimensionally. Feel the three-dimensionality of your body. That your torso, the deep core, your lower torso, feels like it expands as you breathe in. It contracts as you breathe out. And that's your diaphragm pushing down and pulling up. Pushing down to pull in air, pushing up to push the air out. But just feel the sensation, filling and emptying, expanding and contracting. Now, the key to working with the breath is to do it in a way that you're an observer rather than a controller. It's very easy when you start focusing on the breath to be self-conscious of it and therefore start to manipulate it, pulling it in and pushing it out. I promise your body will breathe by itself. So just tune into that rhythm, gently filling and emptying. And the more relaxed you are, the softer it'll be. It's similar to the rhythm if you're at the shore on a very calm day of the water just running up the beach and back down, up the beach, back down into the ocean or lake. So let's just relax with that rhythm, letting the breath, the body breathe itself for a minute or two. As the gong fades, straighten your posture if it's gotten unsettled or slumped in any way. Let your eyes gently open about halfway. Traditionally, they say the direction of your gaze is the angle of your nose. So that's 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Soften your gaze. Again, definitely don't be looking into your device. Move that if you need to. And soften your gaze so that it's as if you're looking at the space in front of you rather than the object that your vision rests on. It's okay if it blurs a little bit. Keep your awareness with the whole process of the breath, the feeling of it coming in your nostrils, down deep into your core, or what feels like deep into your core, and then up and out. If it's helpful, you can imagine the breath filling your whole body. It's almost as if it comes in your nostrils and goes down your back and fills you from the bottom up, like water poured into a cup. But don't make it complicated, just whatever it feels like. Flowing in and filling, emptying and flowing out. Again, not pushing or pulling the breath artificially, just observing how your body breathes. And if your mind wanders off into a daydream when you realize it, smile. There's no negative judgment. Just go, oh, I'm back. And pick up the breath wherever it left off. So we have awareness of our posture, space in front of us, and the flow of the breath. We'll do that for a couple of minutes. As the gong fades, just move a little bit, refresh your posture. It's often said it's good to do shorter meditations and take a fresh start than to try to do a long one and spend most of the time off in a daydream. And now let your eyes open normally. In your posture, your natural gaze will be slightly below the horizon. And soften your gaze, open up your peripheral vision, side to side, top to bottom. Again, looking in a particular direction without moving your eyes, looking all around, but then not looking at that, but opening up to the whole view, the space that you're sitting in. More of a landscape view. Taking in the whole thing rather than one particular object. And continue your awareness of the breathing. Again, not forcing it, but tuning more into the out-breath. Joining with that out-breath. Let your awareness join and use it as a way to just open your awareness so you're less self-centered and more other-centered. Our intention in the practice is to be more authentically present so that we can be more genuinely responsive to others and the situations we find ourselves in. Be aware of the tendency to push the air out. That's not what we're doing. Again, let your body breathe itself. And as the air goes out, it actually mixes with the atmosphere in the room. In the same way with each out-breath. Relax your attention into more spacious openness. Notice the tendency to hold on. And as the breath goes out, let go into that open spaciousness. Again, if your mind wanders into a daydream, when you realize that you're already back. Just smile and say, that was thinking or daydreaming. Here I am. With our eyes wide open, you may notice something in your visual field, a sound, a bodily sensation, and often a thought, a label that arises with that. And maybe one or two thoughts around it. Just let those come and go. They're all included in your spacious awareness. We'll do that for a few minutes. As the gong fades, maintain that open awareness and let go of concern for the breath at all. Just let it be part of your experience, along with what you're seeing, the colors, shapes, shades of light and dark, sounds, near and far, high and low pitched, loud and soft, bodily sensations. Thoughts passing through your mind. Like birds flying across the sky, leaving no trail. Now for our contemplations, imagine that your mind is like the sky, extending out beyond the horizon in all directions. Above and below. And under that sky, all the beings on this planet exist. Different places, but the same sky. All on the same earth, some in water, but below that, all the same earth. And think that all the beings on this earth share in the wish to survive, but not only that, to thrive with comfort and safety, health and happiness. And all share the wish to be free from suffering, mental and physical, disease, pain, mental anguish, fear and danger. We all would like to be free from those. Recognizing yourself, and you can close your eyes during this contemplation or leave them open, whichever is more comfortable. And tune in to your own wish. I would like to be healthy, happy, in body and mind. I would like to be free from pain and suffering in body and mind. Think of all those you love and care about, family, friends, pets. Imagine them all there in front of you, and you know what makes them feel healthy and happy, safe and comfortable. You know what they might be going through as far as physical pain and discomfort, mental anguish and unhappiness. And from your heart, feel from your heart. It's almost as if you could send them the wish that they were happy and healthy. That from your heart you could relieve them of pain and suffering in body and mind. And as best you can, just extend that out to everyone you've ever met. If you can, beyond that, to all the beings on this planet. To have health and happiness and safety, freedom from pain and suffering and fear. And some people have said, I have a hard time doing that for people who I know cause a lot of harm to others. So the last part of this contemplation, we go deeper. What are the causes of health and happiness? What are the causes of pain and suffering? The negative, poisonous qualities of ignorance, hatred, greed, lust for power, envy. All of these poisonous qualities lead to all the harm that's caused. All good comes from wisdom and understanding, acceptance, tolerance, generosity, rejoicing in the happiness of others. So as you breathe out, imagine that you could send and fill all beings with that wisdom, love, compassion, kindness, and all those qualities that lead to all good things. Breathe out, send that out. As best you can, as you breathe in, imagine that, like poison from a snake bite, you can draw all those poisonous qualities out of those beings. All the hatred, anger, greed, envy. Draw it out and it dissolves into space. Draw it out and it dissipates. And without you doing anything, just imagine all beings being filled with kindness and compassion, love and understanding. All beings freed from ignorance and hatred. And as the gong fades, Maintain that feeling. The feeling of extending kindness and compassion. If your eyes were closed, let them gently open about halfway. If your eyes were open, lower your gaze. Just reconnect with your posture, noticing how your body breathes itself, the space that you're sitting in, the present moment. And that concludes our session of mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice. Now, to really fully end, we want to go back to where we began, which is our intention to be more genuinely present, authentically present, so we can be genuinely responsive to others. So we have that intention and we dedicate the practice to that. So you can repeat after me or put in your own words. May the practice I've just done be of benefit to others as well as myself. And if you want to cultivate generosity, you can say, may the practice I've just done be of even more benefit to others than to myself. And we can set the intention, the aspiration, throughout the day and night. May I be as mindful and kind to myself and to others as I can be. And thank you for your participation in this mindfulness, awareness, and compassion practice.